Well, hello, it's Danny Deals here, your old buddy. Thanks for tuning in to another exciting episode of Un Poco Mas, the show where we give you just a little bit more on behalf of executive producer Hurricane Lopez and supervising producer Stock Karen. We would like to welcome you to today's program. It is May 31st, 2023. It is almost 5 p.m. out here on the Pacific Coast in a beautiful Los Angeles. It's almost 8 p.m. out in NYC. Hope it's a great night wherever you find yourself. Post market trading just wrapping up for the day brings me to our topic on the table. It's Tenax Therapeutics, Inc., ticker symbol TENX. That's Tenax Therapeutics. And as most of you know, this is one of the most dynamic, important companies in the entire United States. They are a titan of industry, employing millions of people across a swath of industries and various conglomerates. No, seriously, folks, this is a tiny, tiny biotech that was teetering on the verge of bankruptcy until a recent, highly dilutive money raise, which put the company on much better financial ground, though it put existing shareholders on much more turd-like ground because our shares weren't worth anything after that. So after that offering where we got wiped out by some dirty hedge funds and some turds with Roth Capital, whose strategic review process basically ended up kicking themselves in the nuts, falling over, and crapping in their own pants. That's about how successful it was. I mean, you really couldn't have got a worse deal if you bent over backwards to do so. But in any case, guys, we are where we are. 10x Therapeutics is a company with two phase 3 ready assets. As you know, they have prioritized Lavosin and there is a big news today. Big news, and that is that 10x Therapeutics was granted notice of allowance for U.S. patent application covering the use of oral Lavosin in pulmonary hypertension with heart failure with preserved ejection fraction, PHHF, PEF. And that is huge news, guys. We knew this one would come in, so I think this is a bit of a pump. But we also know this patent will provide intellectual property protection until December 2040 and may qualify for additional U.S. patent term extension beyond 2040. There are currently no FDA-approved treatments for PHHF-PEF, a condition affecting more than 1.6 million North Americans, with estimates indicating a prevalence of more than 2 million patients by the year 2030. So we're talking about a 25% increase in the number of patients diagnosed just in America within the next 7 years. So that's a huge increase in our market. Um, Once granted, this patent will significantly broaden 10x's U.S. intellectual property protection for a market, listen to this, with the potential to generate billions in future estimated annual sales. Listen to that, guys. Billions in estimated annual sales. This company currently has no debt and a market cap around $7 million. They own the rights to this drug. They have patent protection locked up for the next 17 years. They have an FDA phase 3 trial that they are ready to start. They just lack a little bit of funding. It's absurd, guys. You have billions of dollars waiting on millions of dollars. You know, what do they say? Penny wise, pound foolish. Like, money should flow to returns. Capital should flow to these returns. And the only reason it hasn't is because the previous management, especially, really had really poor fiscal management. There was all kinds of overhang with warrants and options and just bad financing deals that were dilutive and messy. And a lot of that has been almost all of that, in fact, has been resolved now. There's only a couple of million warrants left. Yeah, there's a ton of shares now, 20, low 20 millions, 22 million or something like that. But, you know, at only 30 some cents a piece, you got a market cap under $10 million for a drug that, you know, even going into phase 3 with a good probability of approval should currently be worth about $300 million, according to Zacks, an analysis they did late last year in November. Give it a look-see if you like. But the point is, this drug is very, very likely to be approved by the FDA. And why do I say that? Well, the FDA has basically bent over backwards. If you know Dr. Stuart Rich, Tenex's medical director, he was with Precision when Tenax brought out Precision a couple of years ago. He comes over. He was with the FDA advisory committee that approves these very drugs for the cardiac pulmonary type of space. He was with that committee for years and years and years. So you could not find someone better positioned to get this drug through FDA approval. Furthermore, the FDA has allowed Tenax to use a very favorable endpoint that we already know this drug is effective in achieving, and that is the 6-minute walk test, the distance change over time. And that's already been shown to work in the phase 2 study. So they let him change that endpoint. They also let him change from the to their new oral formulation of Levosin instead of the IV or subcutaneous form. Now they have patents on the IV also, but this new patent allowance is going to cover the oral formulation. And I've already gone over in previous videos why it is so much better to have a pill versus an IV. I mean, you're talking about patient costs, transportation costs, potential infection. You're talking about having to get a patient for a weekly IV versus just having to give them a pill they take every day. I mean, on a scale of difficulty, taking a pill is about the easiest way to administer a medication it is, and IV is one of the more difficult ways to administer a medication. So the fact that it's an oral formulation should widen the market considerably because it will not have any of the, you know, problems associated with very regular IVs, such as the injection site infections and all kinds of other things. So Tenax will now have secured IP rights surrounding the use of oral, subcutaneous, and intravenous administration of levosimendan for the treatment of PH-HF-PEF. With this notice of allowance, Tenax is now exceptionally well positioned to realize the significant commercial potential of oral levosimendan based on this new IP protection that will last until at least the end of 2040, advancing this daily or oral formulation into phase 3 studies for the treatment of PH-HF-PEF, a heart condition affecting millions of people in the United States with no FDA-approved treatments, is our next step, said Chris Giordano, Chief Executive Officer of Tenax Therapeutics. I would like to thank my Tenax colleagues and our outside IP counsel who worked over the course of several years, worked diligently to help secure our levosimendan IP estate. Today's announcement represents a major milestone for our company in our mission to grow shareholder value by addressing a major unmet medical need in cardiovascular medicine. And with these foundational IP rights now in place, we look forward to updating shareholders on our progress as oral levosimendan advances into phase 3 testing. Dr. Stuart Rich, Chief Medical Officer of Tenax Therapeutics, the aforementioned Dr. Rich, who was with the FDA Advisory Committee, says, based on its unique mechanistic properties as both a potassium APT channel activator and a calcium sanitizer, we believe oral levosimendan has a unique opportunity to become the first therapy ever approved for the treatment of PH-HF-PEF, the most common type of PH globally. As demonstrated in the phase 2 HELP study, intravenous levosimendan is the only drug to have shown a significant improvement in exercise capacity for this patient population. Importantly, we have also received guidance from the FDA that the same 6-minute walking test used in our phase 2 HELP study can serve as the primary endpoint in our phase 3 program. This is critical. The FDA wants to approve this drug. There are no other medications available for this type of heart failure, nothing approved, and this drug improves people's quality of life by allowing them to function better, to walk further, to do more. You could imagine in your daily life the effect that will have. It'll allow you to play with your grandkid. It'll allow you to go to a theme park. It'll allow you to attend an event. It'll maybe allow you to attend a loved one's graduation or wedding, or just get out to the grocery store, go see a movie, be able to visit a friend. I mean, being able to walk, being able to function, being able to have your heart function is so very basic to having any quality of life. And that's why I think there will be a wide adaptation or adoption adoption, excuse me, of this drug as soon as it is approved by the FDA. And I think that could happen far more quickly than people think. They were like 3, 5 years for this study. I think this thing could be done and dusted in 18 months to 2 years. And the reason is there is a large patient population that is easy to identify and that will be excited to participate in these trials because there's simply nothing else available. Guys, let me take a look at the chart just briefly here. 36 cents is the new pivot point, guys. Basically, we came back for the last month. We were, as you know, we were running down around 30 cents. We had been around 32 cents for quite some time. Stock picked back up on May 10. I think that's when they announced the last patent allowance or they announced something. Um, and basically, the stock kicked up above 36, rode along there for a little bit, and then was just sold back off all the way down to an all time low of 28 cents. Traded back up over the next week or so, back up to that 33-cent level, and then again stuck at 32. And with the announcement today, the stock actually opened at exactly this 36 cents. So this has all been controlled by the algo all day. You had some massive buying, so it's basically a big pump and dump. Pumped it up all the way to like 43, 44 cents, I believe, and then sold it right back off. And you notice when that thing falls off a cliff from 44 cents, it stops again right, almost right on this 36-cent line. Find support there. So what I think's happened here, guys, is 36 as a pivot point probably just flipped from resistance to support. Time will tell on that, but you can see that the algo was working hard, trading in this little like 1.5 cent channel between 37 and 35 and a half, and then it started trading in an even tighter channel between 36.75 and 35.7, 35.6. So we're trading in about a 1 cent channel there, and then toward the end of the day, it tightens way down from 36.25 to like 36.75. So we're trading again in this half-cent channel. Finished the day exactly where we opened at 36 cents. So the algo isn't gone. There's not a big short on the stock or anything, but the algo is not going anywhere. It just steps where it wants. If you look at this stock, this is not, a huge surprise, guys. I mean, 36 cents has been a key level, but we obviously, touching today 44 cents, we haven't touched anything in that level for, 2 whole months. So we hit a 2 month high today. And this is where the stock, if you notice, had found some support in the past here. Like, basically 36 has been a key level for a long, long time. It came down at the beginning of April when it was just bottoming out, found support at 36. A lot of us thought that was going to be the low, came back up, had rode that as support till about toward the end of April, then dipped down below 36 where it has stayed almost ever since. Again, May 10th popped up for a quick pump and dump, went right back down exactly to 36, stayed below that, and we have stayed under the 36-cent mark, the entire rest of the time and just popped through it today. So we have to see, does 36 cents now become support, as I suspect, or do we fall back down? I think this stock could make a massive run at any time. However, this is not the news. This was just a little fake pump and dump news. We all knew this allowance was coming because once they've said that levosimendan can be applied to PHHF, and I know I said this wrong, PHHF-PEF, as a unique form of pulmonary hypertension. It's not just generally pulmonary, that this specific form of pulmonary hypertension is worthy of its own patent protection. So once we knew that, guys, that's the key. We know that Tenax has this entire market in North America locked up for the next 17 years. So if we can get through this layup of a P3 trial, that'll give us at least 15 years of patent protection. And again, sales are going to start out in the low hundreds of millions, but they're only going to grow and grow and grow. And this market is also going to grow and grow and grow. Um, if you take a look at the pulmonary hypertension market, basically there's a lot of these studies that come out, but it's expected to grow at a annual growth rate of 3.6% by 2032. So the size in the seven major markets was approximately almost 4.8 billion in 2021, which is further expected to increase by 3.6% every year to 2032. So, guys, that is a huge increase. Obviously, part of that is in Europe, but you know, if you read down, it talks about the Europe and how many cases there are in Europe, and Japan at $243 million dollars, the market, United Kingdom, Germany 211, France with 169, but the America is just the biggest market by far. So among the 7 million, the United States accounted for nearly 58% of the total diagnosed prevalent cases of pulmonary arterial hypertension in the year 2021, which again is expected to increase at a 3.6% combined annual growth rate through 2032. And if I did the math, I read an article on this before that said that put the market up to, I think, something. Oh, $8 to $10 billion. So we expect basically that market to double over the next 10 years. Guys, 10x Therapeutics, very exciting news. What do I expect the stock to do in the near future? That's a difficult question. What levels raise support? What levels raise resistance? 68 cents is a very key level. I believe on news of a P3 trial or partnership, we will absolutely blow through that. And then I think the next key level is going to be at $1.10. After you get through $1.10, there is another key level, I believe, at $2.22. We're just going to have to keep knocking over these dominoes until we get to a market cap that makes a little bit more sense on this stock. Currently, as you know, the stock was up 4.4 cents today, or 14%. It has come down just a fraction of a penny, perhaps a hay penny. In after hours trading. The volume today was almost 11 million shares, which is huge. The stock, though it says average is 3 million, that's based on some of those pump days where it did like 100 million. So the real average day on this thing's a few 100,000 shares when the algo is totally in control. But guys, as you saw, today opened at exactly 36 cents. Pumped to 44, then just an immediate dump. Found again support at exactly 36 cents, and the algo traded it there sideways all day. And you notice these things even happen in time. The dump all the way down to 36, it hit that 36 mark at exactly 11 a.m. So these algos are programmed on time, on price, and then it simply traded sideways the entire rest of the day. Guys, the hedge funds, the short, long, dirty insider hedge funds, in my opinion, read the lawsuit yourself, read the allegations, but in my opinion, which I'm entitled to, I don't have any specific information, but I believe this hedge fund is extremely dirty, and I think the authorities would agree with me, but they're the ones who paid a lot more for this stock than this price, more than double, and they've been pushing the stock down ever since. They just gave up the entire short position, and that leads me to believe that news is going to come. They are going to flip and go pure long and just pump the hell out of this stock and then dump it at the highs, leaving a bunch of bag holders sitting there crying their eyes out. Guys, we're just going to have to see what happens, but this patent, though expected, is absolutely critical news. The chart is primed to take off on any type of news, and this stock sitting at an $8 million market cap with very little debt, most of the warrants and all that nonsense, all that overhang has been taken care of. The stock has plenty of cash. Costs are completely under control. The bottom line is this: all we need is a partner to get levosimendan into phase 3 FDA testing. And in short order, guys, we are going to be printing money. This thing is a gravy train with biscuit wheels, and I want you to get on board. Guys, I am very tired, barely thinking clearly. It's 5:15 p.m., May 31st, 2023. The stock is 10x Therapeutics. Ticker symbol is TENX. My name is Danny Deals. The show is Un Poco Mas, where we try to give you a little bit more. On behalf of Hurricane Lopez and Stock Karen, I would like to bid you guys a good night. Happy investing. I will talk more with you in the near future about 10x Therapeutics when we get some news of P3 enrollment or partnership or anything significant that comes along. I'm going to bring it to you because you guys deserve to have accurate, timely information. And if you can't obtain that, at least you can come to me and you get what you get. Thanks, guys. Have a great night. Good to see you.